there are gravel roads, there are village roads, and various kinds of roads. And the destination is in mind, whatever be the problem that we face. And holistic health, it has already been defined at the time of introduction. We are not talking about not being sick. It is overall physically, mentally, emotionally, socially, and spiritually being healthy and not having any problem whatsoever on a day-to-day basis. It's not like today I had good health, tomorrow I'm going to have bad health. But we must know ways and means of managing our health, even if we go through those potholes. Another reason why I chose the word road. See, we all move, we go on a Tirtha Yatra, we go to a destination, to a place of abode, a temple, a church, a dargah. But we forget that not only the destination, the route is also important. What is the environment? What is the handicaps and problems which our Google Map shows when you go along this path? What is the weather? What is the scenery around? Who is the person who is traveling around with us? Can they help us? And will our body cope? Especially places like if you have to go to Kailash, the tests that you have to undergo. So it is a journey, and we must not forget, we must enjoy the journey. It should not be a torture exercise, meditation, or whatever mode you choose, whether it's cycling, swimming. It should not be a torture for you. It should be a pleasure, and you must look forward to that activity. I am going to put some sentences here on the screen. These sentences are, just 1 minute. Are you able to see the screen, and is the screen moving? Oh, okay. No, I will not skip. Don't worry. Don't worry. Don't worry. Okay. Why I put these sentences here, spoken by very famous people, is how many years earlier Thomas Alva Edison told this sentence. The doctor of the future will give no medicine, but will instruct his patients in the care of the human frame, in diet, and in the cause and prevention of disease. That's exactly what is happening. And this holistic health is a result of this, because all of us want to reduce our medical insurance, hospitalization expenses. We want to spend less money on hospital visits, time and energy on it. We don't want to interact with doctors, and it has to be a one-off case. So this is exactly what he has told at that point of time. Another thing which is told by a yoga specialist, who is Mr. Iyengar, health is a state of complete harmony of the body, mind, and spirit, when one is free from physical disabilities and mental distractions, and the gates of the soul open. So he's talking about physical, mental, and spiritual also. And please note, this has been told long back, before positive psychology emerged. So we don't have to go shopping to foreign countries to get these techniques. It is available in India, and it was told long back itself. The last one is something that is very interesting and I liked very much. I don't know who this Edward Stanley is, but it touched my heart. Those who think have no time for exercise will sooner or later find time for illness. I was talking to some college lecturers yesterday. They were saying, we have children, we have to look after family, it is a joint family, in-laws are there, we have to prepare for the classes, students, correction, examination, correction, so many things. She gave a list of things, and she herself offered a picture on the day she got married. And she says, that is what I was then, and that is what I am now. I said, it's entirely up to you. Do you want to fall sick for you to look after your health? It is not weight alone. It is not stamina alone. It is mentally being peaceful, mentally enjoying yourself when you do something, and being in a state of utter bliss, happiness, contentment. Let's progress further. Now, what is holistic health? Holistic health has already been covered in the introduction, but I will run through this. Physical. Physical is just not being the right size or the right weight or the right shape. It is fitness, core strength, and flexibility. Mental, as I said, calm, without stress, anxiety, focus, and concentration. Emotional is equanimity. Equanimity is beautifully defined in the Bhagavad Gita. It says we must look at dukh and sukh, which is happiness and sorrow, with an equal approach, and you must not be unaffected by it. It is very easy to say. There are days when we get angry and we struggle to control our temper. We will see what are the ways and means to manage it. Social, our relationships with other people. Somehow we fake it. If we can't make it, we put on smiles. We speak words which we don't want to tell actually. But the relationship with ourselves is something that we struggle to maintain, struggle to come to terms with. And that's where all the problem starts. Spiritual, aspiration for higher goals, contribution, and self-awareness. Lot of people mistake what spirituality with religion. It has got nothing to do with religion. Religion is a means to one of the means to reach spirituality. It is not the one and all. Please remember this, because there is a lot of misconception about what spirituality is. Now, why at all I have to bother about holistic health? Can't I live the way I'm living? I'm in my 30s. There's a long time before I can die. Why should I bother? Now, do you want to struggle with lack of sleep? Do you want to struggle with lack of stamina, lack of energy, no strength to pull through the whole day, no mental strength to manage the pressures of the daily life? And every now and then when the weather changes, the health gets spoiled. You get a cold, you get a cough, you start having fever, your body aches, your head is aching. Reduction in possibility of lifestyle diseases. We don't walk. We are sitting in the same place facing computers, most of us. Some of them are blessed with a profession where they walk a lot. But if they stand a lot, they may land up with varicose veins. So there are occupational diseases also because of walking too much or standing too much or sitting too much. Do we want to suffer in our old age with all these problems? Do we want to suffer with a lack of good relationship, all the time fighting, all the time losing our temper, all the time getting irritated? No, definitely that's not the life that we want. And that is not a choice for human beings. A dog or a cat or a pig has no choices. A dog living in a very rich man's house has a choice of food. But to go and eat what type of food it wants is not a choice that it has. Human beings are the only beings who have a choice. They can choose to live a better life. They can choose to live a healthy life. And they can live a very peaceful life. That is why we are entering holistic health and we are discussing about it. That's the importance of the topic. Now, I love acronyms, and that's the way I remember things. And I suggest you also remember it that way, because people come, talk, deliver a big lecture and go. It just goes. When we are listening, we absorb everything. Later on, most of it evaporates. We forget about what they told. We need a simple formula to remember it on a day-to-day basis, to stick onto the mirror when we see our faces. We must live these words. So I am introducing a concept of 5A methodology. First is the awareness. What is my current position? What is the destination that I want to reach? Do I have the knowledge level to reach that destination? What are the problems that I will face? So awareness is the first A. The second one is accept. It's not moving. I think we have to work with this only. 1 minute. Now, are you able to see 5A methodology? I think we have to work with this only. What I will do is via media. So just ignore the left portion of the screen. We'll work with this. Now, you have to accept what are the limitations that are there. I have a perennial back problem, and if I do backward bending and camel pose just because my yoga teacher told me to do, I may land up in hospital and I may require surgery. So I have to accept what are the limitations, work on these limitations, and try to better the flexibility in the body. Manage your time. You have to accept that in-laws will be there, children will be there, husband's demands will be there, job demands will be there, but you have to manage your time. The approach, this is where most of the people fail, because they don't strategize, they don't plan. All of us are fantastic in strategizing our office work, but most of us are not good in strategizing our own life, our own health. So we are going to discuss strategies also. The action, what to do. We must create habits. It's not that I exercise today, tomorrow it is raining, so I cannot go for a walk. What will I do when it rains? How will I ensure that I walk that 5 kilometers? How will I ensure that I do my core building exercises if nobody is there to accompany me also? So that is what helps us to move from what is to what it should be. So that's action. Amendment is a word that I have chosen. Normally, it is not a preferred word for me. We must take feedback. We must maintain diaries. We must control, and we must correct. So without this, the whole exercise goes for a toss, because you're not measuring what you did. So a simple notebook of whether I did my exercises, a tick mark, or a code saying that half an hour I did, or I didn't do. Did I eat my meal plan, or did I not eat it? Just an into mark, just for you to see and watch whether you're building a habit or most of the days you're not following it. It is just a feedback mechanism. It need not be something very, very sophisticated, or it need not be an app also. It is just a notebook. It is like an attendance register in which you write the activities on the left-hand side and the dates are on top. You just make tick marks for it. That's all it is. So 5A approach, we'll come back to it when we summarize. Now, this is another acronym, which is one of my favorites, which is NEAMS. I specifically chose the word nutrition and not diet. Everybody is practically allergic to the word diet. Diet normally refers to, at least in the common parlance, it means I maintain it for some time and then I abandon it. Like somebody is on a keto diet, on a low carb diet, I am vegan diet, all sorts of diets which don't suit our weather conditions, which mean we practice somewhere in some part of the world. So I use the word nutrition. The second E stands for exercise. Whatever mode of exercise you do, it can be yoga, it can be Tai Chi, it can be Jiu-Jitsu, it can be whatever you name it, you can follow that. You have to educate yourself. Don't follow something because somebody told you to do and it worked for them. Educate yourself. So very important. Most important out of all these things is the mindset. It requires a mindset change, because without that, and without the monkey mind telling you, yes, you can, none of this is possible. So mindset change. Who has to work on it? Only you have to work, because it is happening inside your brain and it is happening as a product of your relationship with yourself. So very important out of NEAMS. M is the most important thing. And strategizing. Once you work out all the other things, you have to strategize. How am I going to do it? What are the problems that I'm going to face? What are the alternatives that I have? So that is the strategies. Let's move on to the next thing. Now, each one of those points, I'm going to look at them a little briefly, because most of this is known to you people. I have not told you what to eat. I have only scantily told you what not to eat and what to be careful about. Because what to eat depends on whether you're a Bengali, whether you're a South Indian, whether you're a North Indian, whether you're a Burmese, or whether you're a Thai person or a US person, whoever you are, it depends on your cuisine. So I'll tell you what to eat. I'm going to tell you, be careful about what to eat. Your approach to eating is educate yourself what to eat, when, how, why, and where. Periodicity, regularity is very important, because there is something called bile which is generated And because of your behavior, it generates at a particular point of time. There is a window through which it generates. And if it doesn't find food, it is going to eat your stomach walls, landing you in ulcer. And there are going to be big gaps in the stomach wall, which is going to lead to bleeding. This is very important. Don't follow fly-by-night diets because they are very, very difficult to sustain. So use something which is dependent on the weather, which is locally available at very great cost. You don't have to buy something which is imported, and try to stick to it. Most important, don't eat food because somebody told you to eat it, because your body may not accept it. Like, for simple, people normally say, take honey with lemon juice early in the morning on an empty stomach. I know the day is going to be very bad for me if I take that, because I'm allergic to citric things. And lemon juice causes my throat to get screwed up, so I never do it. So you watch what does not agree with you. Whatever your doctor has advised on your medical condition, like thyroid patients cannot take tofu-related soya products. So please do not take it because somebody advised you to take it. Mindful eating. I love this mindful eating because none of us practice it. I can tell you, at least one of the meals you may not be practicing it. Cows are very good in that. They gobble up whatever they have to eat and they bring it up and masticate. We don't have that provision. So what we have to do is we have to masticate it well and eat it, so that we can digest it, and all the micronutrients will be digested, will be taken by the blood. No multitasking, no watching TV and eating, no talking while eating also. There is something called, it is an upasana, it is a meditation. Pick up the food, look at the food, thank the people who provided that food to you. Eat that food, masticate it well, feel it getting into the system, and then start preparing the next food. Each meal, forget about breakfast, at least your main meals should take at least minimum 20 minutes to eat. And that's why lunch hours are for at least minimum 30 minutes. So don't spend your time chit-chatting with people when you're eating. Concentrate on your food. Prepare meals for yourself if the family does not comply. Don't give excuses, especially housewives give excuses, that was left over, I ate it. No. And the family does not eat it, so I don't cook it. Whatever is good for you, cook it and eat it. This is not a sacrifice that is going to help you in the long run. You're actually going to torture the family in the long run by becoming sick. So please cook your meals if the family is not compliant. But I can tell you the family will comply over a period of time, because if you become more healthy, if you become more lean, if you get more strength, they will see it and they will copy. Enjoy what you eat. Prepare your plate. Look at the plate. Look at the variety of colors on it. And then you eat. Taste every morsel and eat. South Indians especially look at the vegetable as a side dish to rice. I stopped eating rice and I started looking at the side dish as a main dish. And I found interesting tastes in each of the vegetables and the way I cook it, the combinations that I use. So those are things that you can experiment. If you can't cook your food and you use a cook, please watch like a hawk when the cook is cooking the food, because oil is something that they use to an extraordinary amount. Monitor that. Regulate your oil and ghee. Only 3 teaspoons per day for a human being of both oil and ghee in all your meals put together. Salt about 5 grams per day, which is less than 1 teaspoon. And eating time, practice intermittent fasting. You must have a specific eating time. You must have intermittent fasting. And once you brush your teeth in the night, no more eating till you get up early in the morning. So these are some practices that you can have. And you can have 6 small meals a day, more leafy vegetables, more salads, more probiotics. You don't have to buy costly yogurts. You can have buttermilk and curds, freshly prepared curds. Please don't forget to drink 2 to 3 liters of water per day. If you're more than 80 kgs, it is minimum 3 liters. If you're less than 80 kgs, minimum 2 liters. Use toxin removal drinks. There are a number of toxin removal drinks not bought off the counter. If you just Google and find out, there are multitude of drinks that you can prepare and keep powders where you heat it up and drink that water all through the day. Plan your meals and your purchases and prepare meal charts for you and your family, because or else you'll be rushing. Okay, today no salad material. Today, whatever is in front of me, let me eat. No. You cannot forgive yourself if you don't have a balanced meal. You must have carbs, proteins, fat, fiber, vitamins, minerals, and water. The only way to know whether it's a balanced diet is to educate yourself. Unless you educate, and it is not an app like you go and key in, you'll have to set aside time for that. Basic idea of what contains too much of carbs, what contains protein. If I'm a vegetarian, this is my protein content. If I'm a non-vegetarian, these are the things that I must eat. These are the things that I must avoid. So that is the basic idea you must have. Avoid foods like sugar, jaggery, honey, deep fried foods. No supplements. Supplements make problems in the long range. So no supplements whatsoever. We are not going for bodybuilding exercises. We want to be healthy individuals. As far as possible, avoid sugar. If you can't avoid sugar, cut down the volume of sugar that you use. You will develop a healthy taste for it. Your coffees and teas, you'll start appreciating it in a different manner. Cut down the number of coffees and teas you have in a day. You can have black teas. You can have green teas. So you try various kinds of, I use hot water a lot instead of coffee. I used to have 6 to 8 coffees per day. I brought it down to 2. Now I have just 1 coffee. Eating in the night after dinner because you can't sleep, because you're bored. Actually, you're not hungry because you want to watch a program. Stop that. If small children are not there, don't bring those items into the house at all, because you cannot avoid. If children are there, it is difficult to avoid. Having too many restrictions, diet will definitely fail. Have a few restrictions, stick to them. Don't allow hunger pangs to come in, because you start overeating if hunger pangs come in. So eating on time, have a cutoff by which you will have your breakfast, have a cutoff by which you will have lunch, and have a cutoff by which you have dinner. Please have your dinner on time, and time means by 7:38, have 2 hours of time before going to sleep. Have a slight walk, not a heavy walk after your meal. It will help in the digestion process. So that's all I have to say about nutrition. About education, very important. Where to read, how to read. We overread and we get confused. That is the main problem. Go back to the source from which it originated. Go back to sites which are medical sites. Don't go to some Tom, Dick and Harry site and read. And as far as possible, go to medical sites and read. I normally use medical sites for reading about all this. And all this, what to eat, all these things, what, where, when, how. This is another technique of 4W1H technique. But please remember, when you're asking these questions, it is not only eating, the air you breathe, what you talk, what you think, what you feel, how you interact with yourself, and how you interact with the world. The same technique you follow for all of them. There are days when I used to put up with toxic people. Nowadays, I cut down my exposure to toxic people. What to do if the toxic people are inside the house? Reduce the interaction with the toxic people. The toxic people tend to repeat the same problems over and over again. They can't see anything beyond problems. What happens is, it is taking a little bit of poison and putting it in the milk. Can the milk be drunk after that? It cannot be. So try to avoid them. You also internally don't think of negative things. Don't think of toxic things. Even if you think, write it down somewhere and try to convert them into positive thoughts. What you speak to yourself is very important, because what you speak to yourself, you tend to think, you tend to feel, and you put into action. Now, there is something called READ technique that we use for education. READ is read, explore. I was exploring a no-carb diet for quite some time, for about 15 days, and I found every day by the evening I was feeling tired for no reason at all. And then I started reading what happens if you have a no-carb diet. No-carb diet is without a chapati or without any dosa or idli or even rice. and only vegetables, curds, proteins, and so on. And it made me tired. It lands you in muscular pain. So explore and see, experiment and see, do, and then set up the habits based on the feedback that you get. Now remember to seek help of an expert if you don't know. Don't blindly follow what others say. One lesson that I learned from my personal trainer is never look at the machine next to you. If you're running at 5 speed, stick to it. Make it 5.2 tomorrow. Make it 5.4 day after. But if somebody next to you is running at 7 speed, it doesn't mean that you have to copy him and fall down. He can do it because he has got a healthy body. You are overweight, you are obese, so you cannot do it. So you be a competitor for yourself. Don't follow people. And if at all you have to follow what the expert says. Again, use the read technique. Every expert may not have experienced all these things. Feedback may not have been given. It may not suit your body. So explore and then decide. What worked for others may not work for you. It depends on the amount of abuse you gave to your body, your age, your health condition, the epigenetics, and the lifestyle that you're leading. Abuse of the body is not drinking, smoking, having drugs, but it is the amount of rest that you had when you were sick or when you have broken some bones, and then the time for recovery and rebuilding your muscle strength. Even that could be a problem. If your father and mother had some disease, both of them had, you have a 70% chance of having that disease. But you may say, no, they had diabetes, I don't have. You just wait and see. If you create a stressful situation, diabetes will emerge. It may not emerge to that extent, but it will emerge. And if you start stressing yourself more and more, this problem will continue. A lot of people faced a lot of new problems after having been affected by COVID. So don't compromise of your health. Be careful from a young age itself if there is a history of problems. And please remember, the most important thing is what worked in the past may not work now. I may have lifted 20 kgs of weight when I was young. At 60, I may not be able to lift. And what worked in the past will not work in terms of exercise also, because the body gets used to the exercise after 6 weeks. You must keep on changing what you are doing. And how to do is only by education. The next one is exercise. I told you that you have to educate yourself of which part of the body is working when you do something. In yoga, my teacher constantly says, when you do an asana, watch how you are breathing, where the air is moving, where the pranic energy is moving. And the same works when you are in a gym. When you lift weights, whether you have to close your mouth, whether you have to open your mouth, when you put the weight down, everything you have to be watching. It's not the speed with which you do, but initially it is how well you do it and how aligned you are. Choose the type of exercise that you have to practice and stick to it. It's not that you have to stick to a particular form of exercise. You can try combinations of exercises. And as I told you, once in 6 weeks, alter it. Boredom leads us to abandon the exercise, and we'll abandon in total. It will just be like the rain, no? It pours and then it drizzles and then it stops. Exercise is also like that. And then you'll say that the whatever weight I lost, I've got back again. Who's the cause for it? We ourselves are the cause for it. Combine exercise with breathing, because pranic energy is very important and it's the best toxin removal system for the body. Set a pattern and stick to it. Seek support from friends, family, and like-minded people. Tell them I cannot be disturbed during this time. And be selfish and devote the time for your exercise. Join with people who can push you on and kick you when you are not doing it. Not encourage and say one day is okay. No, they should tell you, come on, yeah, let us go for that walk. Monitor and correct. So that is for the exercise. I'm going to give you some quick tips. Start small and slowly build up. Schedule your workouts when your energy is highest, which is most probably in the morning. Make it fun. Choose clothing and a place to exercise. Don't say people are disturbing you. Find a place where they cannot disturb you. Lock yourself up. Reward yourself when you reach the goal. We Indians forget to celebrate. The youngsters only celebrate. The oldies don't ever celebrate. They don't even congratulate themselves for having achieved a goal. Learn to celebrate. Plan for exigencies. When there is ill health in the family, when there are family commitments, you cannot say, let me go and exercise and come back. Find a method to exercise. Even sitting in the room where the patient is lying down, you must find a way to exercise. Make exercise a social activity. If people are walking, you can join with them. If you are going to office, instead of taking the lift, you can climb the stairs and make it a part of your day-to-day activity. It's not that you set aside time and then you're not able to set aside that time and then it fails. Work on your core strength, because any amount of exercise you do a cardio workout, it doesn't help in core strength. People think if I go for a walk or a run or a jog, that is enough. No, you have to improve your muscle strength also. Sneak exercises in between work. Take the stairs, walk during calls or coffee break, use the stairs. Be creative in your exercise. I'm not going to give you a formula. Use this if you're working in IT industry, because you are in IT industry, you are sitting in front of a computer. If you're a doctor, you have to do this form of exercise. No, it is up to you to decide which form of exercise you're going to do. Buy the cheapest Fitbit and put it on your hand. The cheapest is around 800. The reasonable one is 2,000. The costliest one is 5,000 rupees, I think. Buy the cheapest one. And the minute you graduate to a higher level of weight, higher level of strength, buy the next costliest one, which will monitor everything. And that's a reward that you give to yourself. Watch the number of steps you take every day. Watch the timings that you do the exercise. Watch the number of hours that you're sleeping. There is a connection. I'm not going to run through this slide because I'm going to distribute the material to whoever attended this session. There is a physiology, there is a psychology, and there is a link between both. All of us understand it. There are a lot of doctors in this session. If one gives us trouble, the other is bound to give us trouble. If you have a headache, which is physical, you cannot concentrate. If your mind is disturbed, you cannot work properly or efficiently. So we have to manage both at the same time. It's not that I'll work on my body now, I'll work on my mind later. The both has to be attacked at the same time. That is being a sensible person. My favorite topic, where I also fail most of the time, which is mindset. We have a lot of limiting beliefs. I cannot do this. Me walking 5 kilometers in one stretch, definitely not possible. Believe it is possible and try it out. You can't do that on day one. Keep on toiling till you reach that stage. Start with 10,000. You can't do 10,000 steps in a day. Do 2,000 steps. Measure how many you're doing. And then improve it by another 500 steps. Do it all through the day. Don't do it as an exercise of walking. See, I must congratulate our community, which is Navite, for encouraging me who has stopped walking I think in my 30s, I stopped walking when I got a two-wheeler. And I used to be a very fast walker then. And I did not believe at 60s that I could walk. My Ruma ma'am had motivated us by having a healthathon for making us walk. She said, if you can't walk 10 kilometers, walk 5 kilometers. If you can't jog a few steps. And on the healthathon day, I was able to walk not 5 kilometers, but 6 kilometers. And then I started bettering my speed. If I'm doing it in 14 minutes per kilometer, let me bring it down to 13. Everybody can do, unless you have a weak leg. Support yourself with good shoes if you have a weak leg. If you're scared to walk on the road, you walk inside your house. Walk on a treadmill. The cheapest treadmill may cost you around 20,000 rupees. It is an investment. Please don't invest in jewels. Invest in this. Because with jewels, you're not going to get good health. But with good health, you can earn any amount of money and buy jewels. All your limiting beliefs, like the thoughts that I had, I cannot do. You have to address it. Be grateful for what you have. I was very grateful during COVID period for the kind of parents I had, that they did not pass on any diseases, genetic diseases to me. Have a gratefulness mindset instead of complaining mindset. Be grateful even if you have walked 3,000 kilometers, because you're better off from somebody who is not able to manage even 1,000 steps. Openness to new experiences, events, peoples, and techniques. Build it as a part of the speech that you do. Talk to people. Tell them it is not marketing. It is a genuine concern for people. The minute you keep on talking about you and about your healthy habits, then you'll start questioning yourself, like Gandhiji, if I don't practice, how can I preach? That is what he did when somebody asked about whether sugar is a good thing to eat or not. He stopped sugar and went back and told, please ask your son, I will advise your son not to eat sugar. So without us practicing, we cannot preach. We cannot talk about it. Talk about it, which motivates you to practice these things and balance all the quadrants of your life. Your personal life is important. Your official life is important. Your family life is important. Everything is important. Don't develop something at the cost of something else. You can't develop your arms at the cost of your legs. Everything has to develop at the same time. So work on that. All the thoughts and beliefs that are pulling you down, please address them. This is a list that I prepared. There are no magic solutions. We have years to put on that. Don't over exercise, don't under exercise. One day rest from muscular exercise is a must. But walking you can continue. Lot of people avoid taking action. They only preach about it. They don't take action. People, because they have emotional problems, they overeat. Try to curb it. I did it at a point of time. Because I could not sleep, I was bored. Because I was bored, I was eating all through the night. So the cause is something else. I should have addressed how to sleep well instead of eating. So we have to do an audit, a self-audit of ourselves, and no doctor, no counselor, no friend, no family members can do it, because this belongs in the Johari window of what I don't know, what others do not know, what I know, I don't want others to know. See, those are areas only you can explore and find out. Try to keep control over your life. It is not only over exercise, it is also overthinking, thinking on negative things. Keep a check over this. And there is something called black and white syndrome, which is either or. Either I exercise or I don't exercise at all. The day I do it for 2 hours. On the days I don't do it, I don't even walk. So don't do that, and don't have an obsession for perfection. Nobody is perfect. Even the best of people have had their potholes in the journey. But only difference between you and them is that they managed to get up and run the race, whereas we have given up at some point of time, feeling exhausted mentally or physically. That's the difference. Now, strategies. There are multiple strategies. These all come from management, self-improvement strategies. And here there is another acronym. That acronym is a goal card, an affirmation, planners, and self-management. According to me, the first and last is most important. If you don't know where you're going, it doesn't matter where you're going. You don't need a compass. In the boat, you don't need an oar. You don't need anything, because it doesn't matter where you go. So you need to decide where you need to land. You need to prep yourself so that you will, along the path, when you go through a pothole, how to rise out of it. That is an affirmation and anchor. You have to plan, you have to strategize what to do when it rains, what to do. There are functions, what to do. I'm going for a training program. I am traveling. How do I maintain my nutrition? So you have to strategize, and you have to do your self-management of time management, controlling your thoughts, and doing self-reflection. So S is the strategy, and the word for it is gaps. Goal cards. I'm not going to talk about goal cards because umpteen number of goal cards and vision boards are available in Google. The difference between a goal card and a vision board is vision board pictorially shows it, and it also gives affirmations and anchors for you to go there. It shows how you will feel, and it must be able to give you a visualization of how you will feel on having achieved it. It is a very powerful tool. Please spend some time and energy where I want to be in the next 5 years, where I want to be in 3 years, where I want to be in 1 year. Stick it up on the wall and every day get up and look at it. Most of the days you may feel depressed looking at it. Where did I want to be? Where am I? Don't feel depressed. You are trying. You are on the road. You will reach there someday. And all these affirmations and anchors help you to reach the destination. So you must do that side by side. The planners and schedules, we will come to that. We are also hard up for time. This is giving you a sketchy goal card. All the sectors in which you must have goals are on the left. You must have a goal. You must have an affirmation and an anchor. You must also write down the action that you have to take. Like, for example, let us take a common goal. I have to exercise every day and I must lose 2 kgs in 1 month is your goal. What is the affirmation? The affirmation is, I am a exercise freak is something that I will write. And my anchor will be on my fingers. I will anchor and I will tell you how to anchor. And the action that I will take is that I will exercise. Today, I walked for 30 minutes. Tomorrow, it's going to be yoga. Day after tomorrow, it is going to be this, and so on. Those are the actions. The change in thinking and belief is, I can do. The affirmation helps in that. I cannot do is the belief that I had, and how to make it as a possibility is done through the affirmation. Now, there is an emotion also attached to this thinking. This emotion is anger with myself because I have not done it. Frustration, situation is irritating me. So I have to have a positive emotion. I should feel elated. I should feel exhilarated. When I finish my exercise, I must celebrate. This is the reward I'm giving to myself. I must feel energized. So these are the emotions that you must write, because always if you just take action and don't feel anything, there is no point. You cannot sustain it. So goal cards are specific short-term goals. Vision boards are macro long-term goals. See it every day, tell it aloud, review it weekly or monthly. I suggest that you review it weekly and modify it annually, because goals keep changing. And you would have had a goal, you would have reached that goal, you will set another goal post a little farther away. So goal cards and vision boards are very good. Please do refer, go and find out. Affirmations are very simple. What I tell myself so that my brain behaves itself and does not act like a monkey jumping from here to there. And brain is so beautiful. It has got a quality called neuroplasticity. It helps me to change and adapt based on the affirmations. I will win this race. If you keep on say, or don't even use the word I will win. I have won this race. If you say it positively in the present tense, very simple and straight, and keep it real. What you have to do to win the race, you have to work. You have to have actions. Write it down and repeat it loudly every day, multiple times. Don't be ashamed of speaking with yourself, even sometimes loudly, and be consistent. When you face problems, tell yourself, I am resilient and I will get through anything. When I want something, I am unstoppable. These are anchors. And brain, what it does, when you keep repeating something again and again and again, it believes that it has happened, and it gives all the energy needed, all the hormones needed for supporting that action. It gives you the mental makeup and self-confidence to make it happen. So affirmations help in that. And don't make too many affirmations. For every goal that you set, you can have 2 affirmations or 1 affirmation. Stick to them. If it started working, you can add on the second one. Anchors are very simple. A lot of people must be knowing what is a chin mudra, where we take a thumb, touch our index finger to that, and all the other three fingers are aligned straight. This chin mudra is a reminder that my index finger is a jivatma, which is an ego state, where I point fingers at people and say, you are wrong. And my thumb stands for the Paramatma, which is godliness. And by bringing the Jivatma in contact with the Paramatma, by forming a zero out of it, we reach a Shunya state or a Purnam state, which means it is a state of transformation. I know what are my defects. I know what are my shortcomings. I will work on it. I will use positive energy to correct the situation. The other three fingers are for body, mind, and intellect. We'll not get into that. This is the simplest form of anchors. And you can practice them every day after you finish your meditation or you do your prayer. Please remind yourself of these anchors. Don't have too complicated big sentences as anchors. You'll never remember them. You'll put it in a notebook. You won't find the notebook when you want to do the anchoring. But do it every day. I am not reinventing the wheel. This is something that our parents said. Don't keep your hand on your head. You are giving a message to the brain that it's an impossible situation. So similarly, when you have a headache, you put your hand on the brain because your nerve is throbbing. So physical state, giving a message to the psychological state. This is what we talked about, psychosomatic relationship. There's a slide for that. You can refer that. Now, visualization is a very powerful technique. All the energizing of the mind happens through this technique. Please do look up about VAK, which is visual, auditory, and kinesthetics, and use these techniques very well along with your meditation, so that if you have a goal, I have become my ideal weight. Visualize yourself with the ideal weight, the happiness that you have on your face, the celebration that others are enjoying because you become healthy, and the jumping up and down. I love children because they know how to celebrate. So become like a child. Visualize that. If you want to calm your mind, put a visual screen in front of yourself that I have a calm mind. I have a beautiful waterfall in front of me. The sun is rising. The birds are chirping. There is a gentle breeze blowing. My entire body is rested. This is a very short session, so I cannot do a meditation session for you because that itself will take about 5 to 10 minutes. But please practice visualization. See, what will happen is, most of the time when you close your eyes, all sorts of problems come, thoughts come, anger, feeling, frustrations come. It will come. After all, we are human. What happens is, over a period of time, don't force yourself. Gently, compassionately bring it back to the here and now. Normally, I visualize a river flowing in front of me and leaves falling down from the tree, and the leaves just and going, and as to use the visual technique. So combine it with meditation, affirmation, and anchoring. Now we have a choice. We can run through because it's already 11:57. Are we allowed to stretch it by 5-10 minutes? Whoever is the organizer, can you get back to me? Okay. So the remaining slides we will run through. The slides will be available to you, whoever has attended the session. So you can look at it, Aram say. And also, I will give it to you, no problem. Because the only reward that I am expecting from this session is if somebody can practice, I will be very, very happy. It will make a difference in their life. And I will be happy because I made a difference in their life. That's all. Now, time management, this is a big question mark, especially housewives, especially people who have got small children, who are managing and juggling a career. You have to be a miser with your time. You cannot afford to waste your time. You have to find that time slot where you have to exercise, where you have to meditate. When I have to do is, you have to find the time. Best time do most of the things. At 30, the whole place is quiet and the time is mine. For 1 hour, I have at my disposal before I start my yoga. There are a lot of things that you can finish off by that time and nobody will interfere. How do I get up at 4:30? It is up to you whether you want to get up at 4:30 or not is a choice. But please do not sacrifice your sleep. Minimum sleep, preferable 7 to 8 hours. At least do something because the body will become exhausted. What I do is I have a sedentary job. So every 1 hour I get up, I work from home. I do some household activities for about 5-10 minutes, come back and sit down. So my back is relaxed during that time. And the household activities also get completed. Walk for 2 minutes when you get up from that seat. Eliminate activities that don't contribute to you, to your family, and to the community. This is a definite no. Chit-chatting once in a while, fine. Please do give support to your family members and friends when they have a problem in their life. But otherwise, you will have to ration out your time. Pick the battles to fight. When somebody talks, I will not be talking. You'll be only wasting my time. Can you be on mute, please? Okay, thank you. Pick the battles, the most important battles, and what you want to achieve with those battles, please decide. If you can't achieve anything, you're trying to reform somebody who's not reformable. That's not a job in the first place. Please don't pick up that battle. When you're calm and collected, please tell them very clearly, firmly, softly, gently, I did not like what you did. I did not like the language that you used. I am not going to tolerate it in future. I will walk out from that place if you talk like that to me. It can be a boss, it can be a spouse, it can be your children. But don't stand there and fight and waste your time, waste your energy. Emotional upheaval upsets everything. Even if you exercise day and night, if your mind is not calm, it will not help you at all. Plan your time. Accept that there will be spillovers. I write 10 things to do in a day. I hardly achieve 3-4. It is okay. Carry it to the next day. Whatever you need not do, delete. Whatever you can give it to somebody at a cost, delegate. Whatever you have to do and only you have to do, do. And decide what is not urgent and then do it later. You can do batching, blocking. I have written here in the slide what are these things. And short notes I have written, but you can go and check on that. But please follow the Eisenhower decision matrix. I used to spend a lot of time ironing my own clothes, saying my job only I have to do. And now I have decided there's somebody to do it. I can afford to do it. They're doing a fairly good job. Why should I waste my time? So that is a decision. And I'm sure working members can definitely afford to get these jobs done. So delegate. In office also, delegation is not letting go of your authority. It is definitely not that. You have your authority, you carry the responsibility, but you are also training people in the bargain. So please do it. Mindfulness, meditation, and breathing I've already covered in some form. Mindfulness is not sitting down in one place and just thinking about your thoughts alone. The practice of mindfulness, please see the Zen form of mindfulness, Z-E-N. Best form of mindfulness. As you're living your life, moment by moment, you're aware of what you're thinking, what you're feeling, what is the body sensations, what is happening in the environment. And you do it very compassionately, not angrily frustrated with yourself. If you can afford to do about 7 to 10 minutes of meditation every day, wonderful it will be. After your yoga, if you can just lie down and do your meditations, it's not that you have to sit in Padmasana and do your meditation. You can lie down and do your meditation. Various techniques are there, and I'm sure this forum must be having enough number of teachers to teach you that. Regulated breathing. Pranayama is the best method, and all of us know from our COVID experience, a lung which is compromised does not allow you to live peacefully. does not allow you to die peacefully also. That is the saddest part. You'll be caught between life and death. So develop your lungs with pranayama, remove the toxins with pranayama, and you watch your breathing, your in breath and out breath. Your mind naturally becomes calm. So your mind is also fixed, your body is also fixed. Self-management. This is a conversation that you have to have with yourself. And for cravings, what to do is there in the table. Be compassionate with yourself. Don't beat yourself up because you're not doing things. Slowly, gently, like a mother who's telling a small child, please tell yourself, okay, Malti, you have not done it today. But please remember that tomorrow you have to put in extra effort. And day after tomorrow also you're not going to do. The whole habit that you picked up and developed is going to go to the dogs. So gently tell yourself, and I have already covered most of the things, and don't suppress your cravings. Try to ration it out first and then slowly ease it out. It is like a mother who's doing breastfeeding. Slowly she starts experimenting with other foods and she eases it out because it's not good for the child, it's not good for the mother also if she continues to do breastfeeding. So self-management is something that you need to practice. The various obstacles that we have in health management is we believe all the advertisements that are being told. The magic miracle solutions, nothing happens like a miracle. And either it is on the stage or through an advertisement or promises that people make. It is with sheer hard work that it happens. If somebody is lifting a weight which is 100 kgs, he has practiced day and night for it for many days. He has gone without a particular type of food. He has adopted a particular type of food. His thinking, he has believed that it is possible. So common obstacles is lack of commitment, boredom due to repetition, feeling of hopelessness when you come across a pit hole, or when you're coming across the road is not plastered. There is a traffic jam. Do we leave it and stand on the road permanently? We find alternate means to go, no? So that same approach you should have, and don't feel overwhelmed. Have patience, don't choose shortcuts. Don't, most important thing, over concentration on one aspect at the cost of the other. Balance your body as well as mind. And there is no in, I am in or out. You're always in a partially in out state. Respect that, because it is a journey. It's not that anybody who has got to the destination also cannot say that I have reached there. He still has to maintain a diet, he still has to exercise to be healthy. So please don't forget this. And I have just in the last slide, I have given you the summary of the various techniques that are there. You can take a screenshot, the files, the names, the 4W1H technique, the read technique, and gaps. That's all that I have. And even one iota of change and one neuron of change will take you a long way. And let all of us join together and go in this path of holistic health. Thank you very much for this opportunity. Thanks to the organizers. Thanks to the participants also. Any doubts, if you have time, we can talk. If there are any doubts, you can ask, provided I know. If I don't know, I'll be transparent enough to tell you I don't know.
Ma'am, this is Manjula.
Yeah.
Ma'am, the session was wonderful, ma'am, and thanks for this wonderful session. I have a small doubt, ma'am. I saw in the slides about mindfulness separately and meditation, and even in that slide we had mindfulness meditation, right, ma'am?
Yeah.
So I have went through some of the research articles where we can make use of this mindfulness meditation for controlling the cravings of the food, or this can help to control goes a long way in weight management for few after practicing it for a few days, ma'am.
Correct.
So is this similar to visualization where we said I will reach this ideal weight, or can you just throw few light on it, because I'm not sure about this link. So can you just explain, ma'am?
See, mindfulness is, in one word, if I have to tell, it is becoming more aware. I can give you an example. I used to be a very short tempered person, and my temper was directed towards a particular activity or some lack of performance, and not the person. The other person did not understand that. First of all, in my anger, I couldn't even understand that that was the damage that was happening. It took a while for me to understand I'm getting angry, I'm upsetting the other person, the person is not even hearing. It took years for me to understand that. Second thing is, it took years for me to understand that this is not the only way of communicating with that person. I'm insulting that person and showing that he is not performed properly in front of public. So he was getting hurt. He was not listening to what I was saying. That took a while, the relationship with that person and the communication for me to understand. The third stage was mindfulness of what is the damage that is happening to me and to the other person. The fourth stage was the words that I was using, the context in which I was using. The fifth stage was, what is the objective? The objective is that that should not happen later, in future. That was the objective, and that was completely lost. So what I started doing is, when I wanted to tell something to somebody, I will call them aside and start doing. That is with respect to the relation. I was mindful of the words that I was using. I was mindful that my anger was disproportionate to the situation. So I started reducing the volume of my anger. I started responding in a different manner instead of reacting. I could catch that anger when it was happening. And the upset time for me after getting angry started reducing. See, these are various stages of mindfulness, and this is day-to-day mindfulness. Because always we operate from, I am right, the other person is wrong. You may have been right, the other person may have been wrong, but there are ways and means to communicate. Just be aware of it, the place, the words, what you're communicating to yourself. That is day-to-day mindfulness. If you are doing mindfulness as a form of meditation, the way you sit, the thoughts that you have, the way you're breathing, all that becomes a part of mindfulness. Visualization is something that you can combine with this mindful state. See, when a sick person is admitted in hospital and he has to be operated, we normally criticize the hospital people. He's asking us to do a list of tests and increasing the bill. No, he is assessing the physical status of that person. If he is agitated regarding the operation, they calm the mind by giving medicines. And then when he is in a stable state, they do the operation. Similarly, for us, mindfulness is a technique where you calm your mind, your calm state, and then you do your visualization affirmation. It's very powerful. So it is up to you what you want to combine with what. It works, but it definitely works because it worked in my life. I lost use of one arm completely, all movements. I kept on my repetition, my affirmation is, I can do it. I am going to get back my hand, and God is going to help me. I will be in contact with people who will help me mentally, not physically, mentally. And it happened. It happened. It was torture, but it happened. I'm telling you, at a physical level and mentally, I was getting into depression. So I kept on these affirmations. I can do it. I have to support. I have to support myself. I need cosmic energy to help me. So you can combine any of these things, or you can combine mindfulness into your day-to-day activities. When you're attending a class, can you give your 100% in the class? Can you listen to what is saying without thinking about other things? That is mindfulness. But if you combine all three together, mindfulness, your physical alignment, and your visualization, affirmations, and your anchoring together, nothing like that. But it is not going to happen immediately, one by one, step by step. Like a baby walks, no? It tries to catch something and walk, and then it is a little rocky, shaky. Then it falls. Again, it tries to get up. It is simply like that. Training the mind is like that only. Some of these pictures, keep it in your mind. When you falter, please remember these pictures and try again. Don't give up. I have one slogan: do or die. That's all. I don't mind dying in the process. Go on trying till you are on your deathbed. Even in your deathbed, keep trying. Try to control your mind, try to control your body. And the body has a beautiful way of healing. The mind has a beautiful way of healing. It can't grow an arm, but a liver can grow. There are things that if one artery is blocked, another artery steps in. So body has its own way of correcting itself. Mind also has its own way of correcting itself. That's why I said explore. I hope I have answered your question.
Yes, thank you, ma'am. Thanks a lot.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes,
Hello.
sir. Yes, sir.
Hello. Yeah, my name
Yeah,
is
can you hear my
Pragyan
voice?
from Nigeria. Madam Malaki, thank you for your lectures. Fantastic lecture. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. I can hear you. Please go ahead.
Yeah, ma'am, I'm very happy to hear your lecture this morning. It's morning in Nigeria anyway.
Yes, sir.
I mean, 4.5 hours back, it's difference. So we are early in the morning in Nigeria. But I'm happy. I'm attending lecture. All these lectures from Pragyan. I'm happy about this also. That's a long way to help me. It will change my life and the life of my people also, because what I've had this morning, I'm going to also impart it on other people. So thank you very much.
Please do, sir.
Have
Thank
a
you.
ni-
Carry the message, sir.
Yeah, thank you. Have a nice day.
If there are no more questions, shall we close the session?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. It was really nice,
Thank you.
a wonderful session. I could calm myself down now only. Like before doing yoga, I was like, I could not able to achieve what I was about to do. Then after that only I achieved, like I can do it. I can do it. I can do it.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And thanks for the patient hearing of the participants. Thank you. Bye-bye.